Greetings of the day, everyone. I am Achaya. I am working as an assistant professor in the Department of Agricultural Engineering in SNS College of Technology, Coimbatore. Hereby, in this video, I am going to explain about the topic 7 limbs of the state, which is coming under the course Essence of Indian Traditional Knowledge. So, the 7 limbs of the state. Hereby, before getting into the topic, I'm going to explain about the polity. Polity, which is nothing but the form or process of civil government or constitution. Polity, by this sentence, I hope you can understand that the polity is nothing but the how the process is going on in the constitution, how the civil government is running, this forming or processing, which is known as polity. The importance of studying ancient Indian polity is to understand the evaluation of governance and administrative system. In ancient India, political thought, especially in Kautilya's Arthashastra, the state, Saptanga Rajya, which is in ancient period, which is known as the state, was considered as a living organism with 7 essential elements. A state is considered as the living organism which have 7 essential elements. These elements were interdependent and vital for the stability for the functioning of the government. So the 7 limbs, that is the 7 limbs, 7 essential elements, which are the Swaman, Amatya, Janapada, Durga, Kosha, Danda and Mitra. The 7 limbs is compared to the 7 essential elements which is required for running the state government. The Swaman, which is refers to the king is otherwise known as the Swaman, and the Amatya, which is nothing but the ministers. The Janapada, which means the territory and population. Durga, which means the fortified capital, that it means the fort or the headquarters or capital. The Kosha, which refers to the treasury. The Danda, which means the army or the force. Mitra, which means the ally or the support. Hereby, I hope you can understand the 7 limbs which are essential for running the constitution of the state government. So the next slide, which means the Swamin, which refers to the king. Swamin, the king, who is the central figure of the state. As we all know, all the people or population, all the governance in the ancient period will be ruled by the king, and several other small kingdoms were ruled by under the guidance of the king. So he is actually the central figure of the state. The embodiment of dharma, righteousness, justice and leadership was followed by the king. The dharma, justice and the leadership quality is most essential one for the king. He should be wise, disciplined and trained in state crafts. The personal virtues of the king reflect the strength of the state. The strength of the state is equally measured by the king only. So, this is the first limb which known as the king. The king is the central figure of the state. He is the embodiment of dharma, righteousness, justice and leadership, and he is the one who reflects the whole provenance and the strength of the state. So the second limb, which known as the Amatya, which refers to the minister. Minister is the administrative missionary of the state. He is the one who follows the administrative stuffs which are needed, and when to follow, where to follow, everything is decided by the administrative ministers, who is simply known as the Amatya, the minister. So, ministers can be referred by several names such as the Prime Minister, Amatya, Sachiv, Mantri, as we all know, Mantri, then the Senadipati, Sumant, then the Nyadish, Pandit Rao. These are the several other names which were given to the ministers in the several kingdoms. They are Prime Minister, Amatya, Sachiv, Mantri, Senapati, Sumant, Vijayadish and the Pandit Rao. A minister must be trustworthy, intelligent and he must be experienced. So he's having the role to advise the king and implements the rules and regulations and the policies essential for the governance and the diplomatic support for the king. Then the next limb, which is the Janapada, which refers to the territory and population. In the ancient India, there were 16 Mahajanapadas, which were as Kasi, Kosala, Anga, Magadha, Vajji, Malla, Chedi, Vatsa, Kuru, Panjala, Matsya, Shurusena, Asaka, Avanti, Gandhara, and the Kamboja, which are the 16 Mahajanapadas were present in the ancient India. So, Janapada, which is nothing but it includes the land, that is the territory, and the people, that is the population of the kingdom, which comes under the king. Fertile land, good resources, loyal and hardworking citizens are the key people for the king. A strong economy depends on the productive land and the stable society. The strong economy is measured using how much fertile land is available under a king in a kingdom and the stable and loyal hardworking citizens who are present there. So this is the Janapada limb. The next limb of the state is the Durga fort, which refers to the fortified city or capital, which is the symbol of security, defense, and the administrative control. As we all know, under one headquarters only we all are run. So if we are struggling in something, we will move towards and march towards that headquarters only. Until now, we are following the same thing, that is the fortified city or capital is required for any of the kingdom or organization or a smaller institution, whatever it may be. Fortified city or capital is more important in the kingdom. So it should be well protected and strategically located, which is simply known as the houses of the royal family, army, and the officials. Then the next one is the Kosha, which means the treasury. Kosha is nothing but the wealth of the country. Treasury is the backbone of all the economic power, which are the Kosha is filled through the taxation, trade, and tributes, and sometimes the gift offerings from the other kingdoms or any other peoples. So these Kosha treasury will be used only for the administration, then the welfare, defense, and the emergency needs, which were like extinctly happen in their city. A depleted treasury weakens the state. If the treasury or kosha, which is simply known as the gajana, if the gajana becomes empty, it refers to the weakness of the state. So, treasury is more important in ruling the state. It is the backbone of everyone, like everyone present in this city. Then the other one is the Danda. The Danda, which means the army, the military force of the state, which is refers to as the army, which ensures the internal stability and protects from the external aggression. Like the internal people, the ultimate aim or motto is should be the internal people should be safe and secure, and they have to lead a peaceful life, and they will also aggravate against the external aggression from the other kingdoms or nearby neighboring cities or states or any other kingdom under a king who's taking a war against them. It includes infantry, cavalry, elephants, and spies, and also serve as a deterrent against rebellion or invasion. So if a protest or outburst has happened, they are the first one to save the kingdom from any other aggressions or the invasions into their cities. So the next one is the Mitra, which refers to the trusted foreign allies or neighboring rulers. A good friendship hereby representing which is known as the Mitra, which is important for diplomacy, peace treaties, and the strategic partnerships. It can provide support during wars or crises. As we all know, if we are seeking for help, a good friend is alone will come and help us out from that hard situation. So we have to maintain the good relationship among the nearby cities or the nearby countries, like neighboring rulers. So we have so that they can provide the support during any other wars or crisis. A wise king cultivates strong international relationships. Even from international support can offer here. Then the all these seven limbs of the state were clearly explained. So, I'm concluding here with my statement that the concept of Saptanga Rajya showcases the depth of ancient Indian political philosophy, which remains relevant as a model of holistic governance. And the Kauchalya's insights emphasize the wise leadership, strategic planning, and the people centric governance. So, hereby the seven limbs of the state or the backbone of the king or a ruler. So, these all seven should be integrated and then a strong kingdom is implemented. A strong kingdom needs the seven limbs.